Welcome to the 75th year anniversary special series, honoring the past, shaping the present, inspiring the future. Join us as we celebrate 75 years of the profession, a story written in waves, welded with resilience, and carried by generations. The legacy lives on, the journey continues. Welcome to the second episode of Sonami Talks. Innovators and trailblazers, the pioneers of Philippine naval architecture, a continuing tribute. Today's guest has been with the Maritime Industry Authority for 32 years. She started with Marina as MIDS-1 at the Manpower Development Service and was promoted as Senior MIDS at the Policy and Planning Service. She is a licensed naval architect and marine engineer and finished her bachelor's degree in 1985 at the May Polytechnic Institute. And in 2006, finished her Master of Science specializing in maritime safety and environmental protection at the World Maritime University in Malmö, Sweden. She is currently the Secretary of the Society of Naval Architects and Marine Engineers Incorporated. She previously teaches as part-time faculty at the May Polytechnic Institute, Technological Institute of the Philippines, University of Perpetual Help, and Asian Institute of Maritime Studies from 1992 to 2022. She is currently the Division Chief of the Shipyard Development and Licensing Division, Shipyards Regulation Service, and concurrent Division Chief of the Marine Environment Protection and Development Service. Ladies and gentlemen, Engineer Maria Teresa Mamisaw. Welcome po, ma'am. Hello po and welcome po sa ating podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you rin po sa pagpapaunlak po sa aming invitation. And today, magkukantuan po tayo. We will be having a little bit of throwback and pag-uusapan po natin ang inyong humble beginnings, your legacy and contributions po, not just in the industry, but also to the profession. And we will be asking you for some insights and inspiration po later on.
Okay.
And as a starting talk, ma'am, kwento naman po, paano po kayo nagsimula or paano po kayo unang napunta sa larangan ng naval architecture?
Okay. My father is a licensed naval architect. He is one of the really pioneering in our industry. And as the only child, he suggested that I be attending this course before. Actually, I really don't like it. In the first place, hindi ko talaga siya gusto. I wanted to take up foreign communications or teaching. Actually, nakapasa na ako sa University of Santo Tomas for the entrance test. And I was asking my father for my tuition fee. And he said, no, wag ka nang mag-UST. Sana may ka na lang. And that's it. I started enrolling for the first year, and actually it's a challenge because he's also my professor or my teacher at the time, and also one of my professor at the time is his buddy or his best friend, Engineer Lavinia, who's also a naval architect. So medyo mas malaking pressure sa akin na maging naval architect because tinutukso ako lagi ng mga klase ko. But they don't know behind that tukso na alam ko yung test, alam ko yung gagawin sa exam, something like that. Or alam ko yung questions na tatanungin ng father ko during the class, even Engineer Lavinia. They don't know the pressure kasi nga niloko ko lagi ng mga klase ko. Alam na ni Engineer Dagyo yung sagot. And it started there.
Yes, ma'am. And marami rin po nakaka-relate, I believe, sa story niyo, ma'am, na hindi po first option ang naval architecture as their preferred course or program. And kayo, ma'am, paano po kayo na-fall in love sa naval architecture program? Despite na hindi niyo po siya first choice. And it was the choice of your father.
When I started as a first-year student, talagang medyo parang ayaw ko talaga. Talagang hindi ako nag-i-enjoy, parang ganon. But when I started in my second year and coming to the third year, doon ko na-feel na nag-i-enjoy na ako. Kasi konti lang kami babae at that time. We are about 5 in our group. And ang klase pa namin noon sa May, alas 4 ng hapon kami nag-start hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. So, because of the professors, my father is working and Engineer Lavinia is working and other naval architects as well are taking their works then.
So, part-time lang po nila ang teaching.
Karamihan talaga sa kanila part-time. Pero sila talaga yung, pioneering talaga during that time. So, nung nag-third year na ako, doon ko na nagustuhan kasi andun na yung mga klase ko nandun na kami So, doon na tumaas yung mga grades ko. Actually, nung first year ako, bababa ng mga grades ko, 3, ganyan lang, kaya 2 point something. But when I started in my third year, tumaas na siya. My lowest is 1.5, 1.25, and I'm proud of that. And yun nga, na-challenge din ako kasi nga, puros lalaki yung namin, kasama namin. Kaya puros ko ako noon at that time. Medyo may pagka-boyish. Kasi nga, 5 lang kaming babae. And then, puros lalaki na yung kasama namin. That is one good thing na experience ko at that time. Now, naging parang magkakapatid yung turingan namin.
Yes.
So, walang naiwan. Pinilit namin yung klase namin, the whole class, na talagang makagraduate because we feel that yung pag hindi naiwan yung isa, pag naiwan yung isa, parang kawalan sa amin. So we tried na encourage our classmates na we push on and we were able to do that. So sa awa naman ng Diyos, natapos naman kami lahat at actually wala kami naging boyfriend talaga na mga naval architect. May mga nanligaw, of course. Hindi maiwasan dahil puros lalaki Pero wala kaming naging karelasyon.
Gaano po kahirap para sa isang babae ang pumasok sa ganyang profession?
Mahirap at the time. Kasi, let's face it, that naval architect is a dominant man. For men lang talaga siya at that time, no? But the thing is, I appreciate my classmate kasi walang parang hindi nila kami tinuturing na babae, hindi rin kami tinuturing na lalaki, pero mararamdaman mo na may respeto at the time, at the same time, inaalagaan ka ng mga klase mo. Kung ano yung ginagawa nila, for example, ayayain ka sa mga, at that time, disco, diba? Disco house, ganyan, bar, mga ganyan, sila yung nagbabantay. Painumin ka, tagay, something like that. But at the end of the day, they will take care of you. They make sure na makakauwi ka na maayos sa bahay nyo, something like that. And they make sure na mahihatid ka na maayos hanggang doon sa bahay nyo. But the challenge is, pagdating doon sa mga examination, things like that, yun nga yung kasasabi ko lang kanina, they were thinking that my father will provide me the answer during the examination. Sabi ko, ay naku, kung alam nyo lang na ganun kahigpit ang tatay ko. Actually, nag-aaway ang nanay at tatay ko at that time. Kasi may mga pinagagawa pa siya, mga lines drawing. At that time kasi, talaga, mano-mano kami.
At mahirap ang lines.
Bibili kami ng tracing paper, and then meron kaming technical pen, meron kaming mga curves, ship curves, things like that, no? And then, gagawa kami sa cartolina, and then, yun, sisipatin ng tatay ko yun. Hindi ako natutulog, nagagalit ang nanay ko, inaaway ng nanay ko, tatay ko. Sabi ng tatay ko, ng nanay ko, ay maawa ka naman sa anak mo, di na natutulog, madaling araw na, may klase pa yan bukas. Tapos sabi ng tatay ko, hayaan mo siya, trabaho niya yan. Yan na magiging profesyon ng anak mo. So, hayaan mo siya. So, ganon.
Yes,
ang style ng father ko, iwanan niya ako ng lecture, and then, gagawin ko yun. Something to that effect. Nandun ako sa kwarto ko, dahil nag-iisa lang ako, bibigay niya lang yung, pag-aralan mo to. Bibigyan niya akong libro.
Yes.
Pag-aralan mo to. Tapos tatanungin niya sa akin at the end of the day, pag dumating siya sa bahay, nagawa mo ba? Tapos pakita ko sa kanya. Sabi niya sa akin, mali. Ganun lang, mali. Tapos siyempre, titignan ko siya, mali, anong gagawin ko? Tanungin mo sa mga klase mo. So, hindi talaga niya ako tuturuan. Tuturo niya lang yun, ando na ako sa school.
Yes.
Tuturo niya yun sa school, along with my classmates. Pero yung sabihin mo, tuturuan niya ako sa bahay, never na, ginawa talaga yun. It's a challenge to me, but was able to
To
go,
deliver.
to deliver that one.
And it was really indeed a challenge, ma'am, no? Kasi sa part mo in a man's world bilang babae, and also mas mahirap din magkaroon ng instructor na tatay niyo po mismo kaysa sa hindi mo naman po kamag-anak. So kudos to you, ma'am. You did very well on that. Let's talk about naman po, ma'am, sa inyong mga legacy and first. Ma'am, naalala niyo pa po ba ang very first project po ninyo nung kayo po ay isang professional?
Actually, I was working with one of the pioneering at that time, Engineer Eduardo Ente. And natapos ako nung March, and then August, kinuha na niya ako. And then I was the only lady in our production. So marami kaming ginagawa doon. Ako lahat yung gumagawa doon pag umaalis yung mga kasamaan ko. Ako na gumagawa ng inspection and everything.
Ito po ay shipyard, ma'am? Sa
shipyard sa Nabotas. Pero wala na siya ngayon. Nag-close na siya. And I can relate to that. Na-meet ko doon si Mr. Herme Esguerra, and ako yung nag-aano sa kanya mga tugboats, saka sa kanya yung first na tanker niya, siya yung may-ari ng Herma Shipyards. And siya yung unang-una kong nakita doon na until now na nakikita ko pa rin. And we meet several times, and I introduced myself and said, "Oh, talaga?" Sabi niya gano'n, "Yes, sir, I'm the one of the naval architects who work with your tankers at that time." Sabi niya, hindi ko na nare-recall pa na, sabi niya. Pero okay lang, sir, but I recall you kasi at that time napaka-pogi mo, sir. Ako ganun sa kanya, gwapo-gwapo mo. Tawa siya sa akin. It was a good experience. And also, I have worked with a British company. And then my boss is, he focuses on working with a wooden hull vessels, but yung yate type siya. It's more of yung mga kaibigan niya ng mga foreigners. Ginagawa namin sila ng mga vessel made of fiberglass at the time, wooden hull. And then, yun yung ginagamit ng mga medyo sosyal na kasama niya, mga friends niya. Before I was able to join the Maritime Industry Authority or Marina.
Alright. So, you have mga ilang by estimates po, gaano po kayo katagal sa shipyard or shipbuilding?
From 1986 when I started, kasi hindi pa ako licensed, nag-start ako. And then, nag-start ako in 1986. And then I left the private sector 1992. Because I joined Marina September 1992. So, I have been in the private sector. I worked in Nabotas several times with different shipyards there, such as, Western Shipyard, and then David Shipyard, yun nga, yung kay Engineer Ente, and a lot more. Kaya lang yung iba, wala na sila eh. Wala na, close down na. But I have a lot of experience with our seniors, yung mga pioneering talaga before. And it's very good because they will help you. They will help you.
And with your years of experience sa shipyard, in the shipbuilding and ship repair industry, going to the Maritime Industry Authority, ano po yung mga personal challenges na nalagpasan po ninyo habang binubuo niyo po yung career?
One thing is, the challenge that stick in my mind is one of a person, I would not say his name, but he mentioned to me na wala kang mararating. Sabi niya sa akin, wala kang mararating yung ginagawa mo, yung trabaho mo na yan, wala kang mararating. And I take that challenge, take a challenge of me, na sabi ko sa sarili ko, okay, wala kang mararating. So ipapakita ko yung sa'yo na may mararating ako.
Yes.
And I have to say na may narating naman siguro ako on my ways. And siguro, he's still alive naman. So he knows that one way or another, I was able to erase that impression na wala akong mararating. Kasi nga, mataas siyang tao at the time eh. So, nung sinabi niya sa akin, it was a challenge, umiiyak ako. Sabi ko, grabe naman to. Sabi ko, commerce siya yung isa sa mga pioneering, ganyan, tapos sabihan mo ako, ganyan, na dapat tinutulungan mo ako.
Yes, ma'am.
Pero sabihin mo sa mukha ko, pag mumukha ko na, wala kang mararating.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
And that's quite unfair, lalo na po pag you're starting to build up your career.
Yes, of course. It's a challenge, ha? Kasi lalo ka na, babae ka na.
Yes, ma'am.
At the same time, tapos yung kausap mo, pioneer. Tapos sasabihin sa'yo, wala kang mararating. Tipong ganun. So, masakit yun sa akin. Okay, so, I strive. Kasi nga, mahirap sa akin dahil dinadala ko ang apelyido ng Daguio. And Daguio at the time is well known kasi nga pioneering ang father ko. So, pag sinabi mong Daguio, ando ka na kaagad. May pressure kaagad sa'yo. And, so, okay. Tapos babae pa ako. So, sabi ng father ko sa akin, gawin mo na yung trabaho. So, when I was working na Botas, kung anong ginagawa ng mga kasamahan ko, pag pumapasok sila sa engine, papasok ako. Magpapagabi sila, magpapagabi ako. Madaling araw sila uwi, madaling araw. Walang babae. Walang babae. Talagang, kung anong kilos sila, kilos ko.
And look at you, ma'am. You are truly a testament of the key figures in our industry na may very humble beginnings and tinan nyo naman po ang layo ang narating nyo ngayon.
Yeah, I'm proud kasi I've been teaching for a long time. Although I'm working with the Maritime Industry Authority, part-time ako. And I started in Marina, and I was starting with Marina, I started teaching also. Pero ano yun? Mahirap yun because after office hour, takbo na ako sa school. And then, it's a challenge because niiwan ako ng mga estudyante ko. Pagdating ko sa May o kaya sa Perpetual, o kaya sa Ames, actually, wala na mga estudyante. Nasaan na sila? Wala na. Kaya, naging ako doon, I have a very strict schedule. Pag wala pa ako ng 6:30, then you can go. Pero pag 6, nandito na ako, you have to stay. May usapan namin yan. Basta 6:30 onwards, hindi na ako dumating. Sige, pwede na kayo umuwi. Pero pumupunta pa rin ako ng school. Kung sino yung nandun pa, then we discussed. Pero pag wala na talaga, then I go home. Na-experience ko kasi yon na nagtuturo ako sa Perpetual. Sabi ng Perpetual sa akin, magturo ka sa amin gabi. Sabi ko, hindi ko kakayanin yung galing ako ng Manila. Sabi ko, try lang natin. Oo, try lang natin. O, sige, try natin. Okay, dumadating ako sa school, 7 na, from Manila. Wala na talaga estudyante. So I told them, okay, hindi ko kakayanin talaga yung regular day na 5 to 9. So, we stick to the Saturdays na lang. So, binigyan nila ako ng Saturdays.
Nag-adjust na po kayo talaga.
Oo, nag-adjust kami kasi nga, hindi namin kakayanin. Unfair naman sa mga estudyante na hinintay nila ako ng ganung kagabi. So, sabi ko sa Perpetual at that time, every Saturday na lang, the whole day. So, they were able to give me schedules every Saturdays. Yes.
And what a great fit, ma'am, no? Kasi aside from you being the current secretary ng SONAME, you were also the very first female president ng SONAME.
Yes. Second si Ma'am Jackie.
Jackie. Yung ngayon po.
Yes po.
Alright. And let's celebrate women in the profession, ma'am, no? So you have mentioned kanina na you are one of the roses among the thorns sa inyong klase way back college. And you also became the very first woman in as a president in SONAME, no? Bilang isa po sa mga nangungunang babae sa industriya, paano po ninyo nakitang nagbago ang role ng kababaihan sa naval architecture sa paglipas ng panahon? Or how would you compare po?
Nakita ko yung mga kabataan ngayon, ano, yung mga naval architect nating kababaihan, they take the challenge. Siguro dahil nga, sinasabihan ko lagi sila, isa lang naman lagi ko sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko when I was still teaching na, kung hindi mo mahal yung naval architecture, umalis ka. Kasi hindi ka magiging masaya dito. You have to feel the profession. Mahalin mo. Kasi kung hindi mo siya mamahalin, hindi ka magiging successful. Kasi yun eh. Kailangan mahalin mo siya. secondary lang yung pera eh.
Yes.
Sa totoo lang. Although, of course, lahat naman tayo kailangan natin ng pera, di ba? But the thing is, ang importante kasi, nag-i-enjoy ka sa isang bagay na ginagawa mo.
And that's something, I think, best no about women, na you are very great at loving your family, loving people around you, giving love to your profession, giving love to everything you love. No? And also, yung pagtitake po ng challenge, no? Parang kumbaga sa generation yun, challenge accepted yan.
Mahirap. Bakit kamo? I have 4 children. And, as mentioned, nag-iisa lang akong anak. No? So it's very, really difficult because I have to work.
And it's very and obviously challenging, ma'am, no, to be in a field or in a profession predominantly played by men, no. For you, how important po it is to have visibility sa mga kababaihan, hindi lang po sa naval architecture na field, kundi sa iba't ibang larangan po.
I've been in the maritime industry for a long time, and we provide assistance sa ating mga, hindi lang mga naval architect, but other professionals. That, for example, mga seafarers natin, diba? Ni-improve na rin natin yung number ng ating mga seafarers, mga babae, as well as other technical professionals. So, para sa akin, you have to have that love with your profession. If you are going to look at us, as I mentioned earlier, 5 kaming babae. Pero sa profession namin, as naval architect, ako lang naiwan. Nawala na sila lahat.
So, ikaw lang po ang graduate mo?
Hindi, nag-graduate sila. Nag-graduate sila. Pero, ako lang yun.
The
Dalawa
industry.
lang kaming nakapasa sa 5. And then, yung 4, nawala na sila sa BS Naval Architecture. Ako lang naiwan.
Talagang mahal na mahal yung pang profession.
Siguro because of my father, who is committed in this profession. He loves this profession. And I saw to him how he appreciate and challenged by siguro dahil sa pag-travel and then meeting a lot of people. In this industry, you have to know a lot of people, connections, things like that. Yun ang nakita ko sa kanya. And ang pagkakaiba lang namin ng father ko siguro, he's a very kind person. Ako medyo mean. Medyo suplada ako.
Self-aware po kayo.
Medyo suplada ako in a point that I'm very strict when it comes to work. Pag nag-inspection yung mga, for example, mga kasamahan ko, I tell them what not to do. Kasi alam naman natin kung ano yung natin, profession natin. You can be rich, but sa akin mas gugustuhin ko pa na nire-respeto ako. May times na mahirap talaga yung aming sitwasyon, but we're thankful na na-overcome naman namin. And sabi nga ng tatay ko at the time, which stick in my mind always, sabi sa akin ng tatay ko, marami kang pera, pero hindi ka makatutog. Sabi niya, kahit wala kang pera, nakakatulog ka. At lagi kong tinatandaan yung sinabi ng tatay ko, hindi ko madadala yan. Hindi ko madadala. So, yun ang iniisip ko. Hindi ko din madadala yan pag namatay ako
Such a great lesson.
Yeah, so, always yan na naiisip ko na hindi ko madadala yan. Kaya hindi ako masyado materialistic. Hindi ako masyado maano sa mga gamit or things like that. Of course, I have to ayusin yung sarili, things like that. But the thing is, if you're going to look at our way of living, very simple yung buhay namin. Pwede kong pagandahin siguro ang buhay namin, but I want my children to strive on their own. Kaya nga pinatatapos ko sila para sila naman, okay, bigay nyo yung pwede nyo ibigay sa mga anak ninyo.
Yes.
Dalawa kasi yung masters ko actually, yung public masters sa public administration. Pinag-aral niya ako. Siya yung nagbayad ng aking first year sa aking master's degree sa perpetual. Sabi niya, mag-aral ka. Kasi at that time, sa government, kailangan may master's degree ka para ka ma-promote. Sabi niya sa akin, nasa DBP ba ang father ko noon? Nagtatrabaho siya sa Development Bank of the Philippines. Sabi niya, mag-aral ka, anak. Sabi ko, ba't hindi ikaw? Sabi, matanda na ako, ikaw na mag-aral. Sabi ko, ayoko mag-aral. Sabi, hindi, ako na magbabayad sa tuition fee mo. Sabi ko, okay, siya magbabayad na tuition fee ko. O sige, pumayag ako. So, nag-aral ako ng first sem. And then, nag-enjoy ako. Kasi, ang mga naging kaklase ko doon, karamihan, taga-DBP rin. Mga kasama ng tatay ko. So, kilala nila ako. Tapos sabi, ay, anak ka ni Engineer Davio? Sabi, yes, ma'am. Oh, kasama namin siya sa DBP. Tapos ganyan. So, naging close kami to the point na when it comes to the second semester, ako na rin babayad. Hanggang nakatapos ako ng aking master's degree, ako rin nagbayad. And then, proud siya sa akin at that time. And then, nasundan pa yun na isa pang master's degree. Yun nga yun sa World Maritime University. And then, 2 years ako doon, sinacrifice ko yon na talagang 2 years. Umuwi lang ako. Pumunta ako ng World Maritime, May 2015. And then, umuwi ako December 2015. And then, bumalik ko 2016, January. And then, nag-graduate ako October 2016. At that time, nung 2016, hindi sinasabi sa akin ng father ko at ng mga anak ko na may sakit ang nanay ko. And then, pag tumatawag ako sa bahay, kasi magkaiba yung oras eh. Pag alas 9 ng umaga sa Sweden, alas 3, alas 4 ng hapon dito. So, umaga doon or hapon doon, madaling araw dito. So, tumatawag ako sa bahay. Usually, yung mother ko sumasagot. Nung bandang huli, hindi na siya sumasagot. So, hinahanap ko, asan yung lola nyo? Sabi ng mga bata, ay, umalis mama, ganyan, ganyan. Ba't umalis? Madaling araw, ganyan. So, karoon ako ng intuition. Na may nangyayari, hindi sinasabi ng mga anak ko, lalo na yung panganay ko. Kasi, isang anak ko, mga bata pa sila at that time. Yung isa, nag-aaral na ng nursing. So, sabi ko, asan si lola? Tapos, mga April, a few months before mag-graduate ako, kinausap ako ng father ko sa phone. Sabi niya, ang nanay ko, may sakit. Medyo malupa, ganyan-ganyan. So, ang ginawa ko, nagpaalam ako sa school, sa university. Sabi ko, uwi na ako. So, pinayagan ako. Sabi ng university, if you go home, then it's up to you if you can still go back. Kasi nga, hindi ka na namin mababayaran. Hindi na mababayaran yung pagbalik ko. Kasi, ang babayaran lang nila yung pauwi. So, sabi ko sa mga kaibigan ko, sabi ko, uwi na ako. What they did, my closest friends, talagang kinuha nila yung cellphone. Tapos kinakausap nila ako. Sabi nila sa akin, mama. Sabi nila, mama. Kasi mama tawag sa akin ng ibang kasamahan ko. Na, sabi nila sa akin, mama, what are you going to do when you go home? You're not a doctor. You cannot do anything. You will not finish your master's degree. Sabi sa akin ng mga kasamahan ko, si Mama Lisa, who is a Malaysian, si Kuya Pipin, si Kuya... Marami akong kaibigan. Actually, ang mga best friend ko doon, hindi Pilipino, mga foreigner sila. And then, sabi nila sa akin, if you go home now, kasi April, May, so October na kami graduate. If you are going to leave now, sabi nila, what are you going to do? You will not finish your master's degree. You're not a doctor. You cannot do anything. Sabi lang ganun. So, parang sinasabi nila sa akin, mawawala lahat ng pinaghirapan mo, naka-1 taong ka, nag-graduate na tayo. So, iyak ako ng iyak, kinukulong nila ako sa kwarto. Don't talk to your parents, don't talk. We will help you.
Time,
I cannot, sabi ko, I cannot take the examination. No, I have to leave. I need to know what's going on. No, ate. Bipin was saying, you have to stay. We will help you. If we need to help you to do your examination, to review and everything, then we will do it. So, talagang, ang tindi ng paghihirap ko noon. Talaga na hindi ako tumatawag sa bahay. Ayaw ko patawagin ng mga klase ko. And then, yun nga, sinabihan naman ako nung anak ko, yung panganay ko, Mama, huwag ka na mag-alala. Kahit pa paano naman okay si Lola. Medyo lang siya. Pabalik-balik sa ospital, pero okay pa naman. Ganun. So, nung umuwi ako, October 2016, yun na nalaman ko na yung situation ng mother ko. And then,
nakagraduate na po kayo.
Graduate na ako noon. Actually, mag-i-stay pa sana ako. Kasi we are allowed to stay 2 weeks sa aming hostel. Sa hostel para mag-roam around. Hindi na, kinansel ko na yun. Graduation tong gabi na to, this day, kinabukasan umuwi na ako. Kinansel ko na yung 2 weeks ko. Kasi, inano nila sa akin yan, reserved na sa akin. Kasi darating na yung mga susunod na estudyante. Sabi sa akin, okay, you can stay in your room test for 2 weeks and then you can go. So, binawi ko yun. After graduation nitong araw na to, kinabukasan, I went home. And then, what I did is, yun nga, nakita ko yung sitwasyon ng mother ko. With my diploma, I gave it to my father and my mother. Sabi ko, eto yung pinaghirapan ko. So, sabi ng tatay ko, naalala ko, sabi niya, mas magaling ka sa akin. Mas magaling ka sa akin. Siguro in a way, kasi nga marami ako accomplishment compare sa kanya. Pero para sa akin, siya pa rin. Siya pa rin. Kasi hindi ako magiging kilala until now in this profession without him.
So it takes that very important person, kahit mag-isa lang siya or kahit konti lang, compared sa kahit ilang libong or kahit sinong tao na magdadaon po sa inyo or magsasabi na hindi ka enough or wala kang mararating sa buhay. And now let's do the episode 2 Fast Talk segment. The Pioneers Edition. Ready ka na po, ma'am?
Yes!
Yun!
Ever ready.
Okay, so again, no right or wrong answers here, just quick, candid, and fun. Let's go! Ma'am, first vessel you ever boarded?
Wala.
Wala?
Wala. Takot ako sa mga...
Para rin po sa work po, sa trabaho po.
It's a passenger vessel.
Passenger vessel, wow. Design table or drafting software?
Design table.
Sea trials or model testing?
Sea trial.
Most challenging project ever?
Marami.
Hindi kayo sumama. Salamat.
Maybe going inspection, do the incline experiment, and then the calculation itself.
Calculation. If you were a ship part, bahagi ng barko, ma'am, which one and why?
Engine. Because I believe engine is the heart of the vessel.
That's a good answer. A ship, pakikumpleto po ito. A ship is never complete without
the heart. Because it starts from the heart. Pag wala yung puso mo, hindi na tatakbo.
Grabe. Ibang level yung connections and relevance ni mama. Favorite memory niyo po as a woman in NAMI?
Being given the opportunity to rise.
Grabe mga sagot. What advice you would give to your younger self?
Be strong, accept the challenge, and move forward.
In one word, ma'am, what does Soname mean to you?
Soname is the life of Arena.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And hindi pa nagtatapos dyan, meron po tayong Full Ahead or Anchor Trailblazer Edition po. Pag sinabi natin full ahead, ma'am, maritime term, it means yes, go for it. And pag anchor naman, it means too much, na vibe, or nope, not for me. May mga situations akong sasabihin, and then you're gonna answer if it's a full ahead or an anchor. Let's go! Being the only woman in the shipyard, full ahead or anchor?
Full ahead.
First to speak in a room full of men. That kaya mo ba yan, Luke?
Yes.
Pwede bang makita namin yung paano po ang isang kaya mo ba yan, Luke, ni engineer?
Ay, matari ako.
I think tough love yung mag-describe niya.
You're not very strict.
You're not rude or bad, ma'am. You are tough.
I'm very strict.
shape.
Kaya mga estudyante takot sa akin. Kita pala ako takot sila.
Paano ulit yung ano mo? Wow!
Alam niya yung ano yan. Hindi ko kaya
Okay. Teaching future women naval architects. Full ahead or ankle?
Malapit.
Wearing PPE over heels.
PPE.
Yun. Seeing your design become a real vessel. Full ahead or ankle?
Malapit.
A Soname led by fearless women.
Full ahead.
Yun. Rewriting the blueprint of the industry.
Full ahead.
Yun. O, di ba? Hindi lang barko ang pinapaandar, pati standards ng industriya. Yan ang full head or anchor. Ma'am, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I wish Soname 75th anniversary and looking forward for more to come.
Yes.
God bless us all.
Woo!
all our viewers, thank you for joining us in this continuous journey of Soname Talks. As we celebrate the 75 years of the Philippine Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, we honor not only the men, but also the women who helped shape this profession.